guys, I'm Ron.
I'm Astrid.
We are from Keaton Swing Leiden, and this is a short instructional video on the Shag basics. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on double hops on each leg. Leaders, as always, we start on left.
Followers, we start with our right foot.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now notice that when we're doing this, we're trying to keep our weight above our foot. For me, that means that I'm switching my feet under my body. Yeah, so that I'm keeping my body very straight and very centered, and my feet are changing.
Also notice that we don't move our body, so we keep the triangle from our head to our shoulders straight at all times.
Now, otherwise we get something like this. We want to avoid getting that pendulum movement. Also, we want to avoid swinging the legs out, even if you keep that triangle straight. So really try to neatly do this. And what might help you is to put your foot, the foot that goes up, to put it behind the other foot, like so. So you get one, bump, one, bump, one, bump, one, bump.
So now we're going to add quicks to our slow rhythm. So we're going to do slow, slow, quick, quick. And this is the basic that we do in Shag. So it's a 6-count basic and it looks like this. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. Alright, as you may know, Shag is being danced to quite fast music, but right now we're going to practice this to a really nice and easy slower song, around 160 beats per minute. We do have a link for you in the description of this video, so please just follow that. Pause this video and practice to that music, so just hop around your living room, going for that slow, slow, quick, quick, that 6-count rhythm. Try moving forward, moving backward, moving circular, and just keep that rhythm going. Okay, a little bit about posture now. As you're used to in pretty much all of the swing dances, we make sure that we keep our knees unlocked. Yeah, so we bounce through our knees a little bit, and in Shag it really helps if you also point your knees outward a little bit.
Also, we keep our chest forward and our back straight. So then the total posture looks something like this. So you have a slight bend to your knees and you have a very straight back and your chest forward.
Mind you, this is what we mainly use when we're dancing with a partner, because then we have this, we have our chests a little bit closer together, but we have a lot of space for our footwork. Yeah, so when you're dancing solo, it's fine to be a bit more up straight, but we always try to practice this having our chest forward and having our knees out. Yeah, so when we do that, we have this as a basic. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. Don't worry too much about the footwork, because we're going to add that footwork in a little bit. Boom, chop, bum, bum, boom, boom, bum, bum, boom, boom, bum, bum, boom, boom, bum, bum, boom, boom, bum, bum, boom. The last bit that we're going to add is this hand that goes up. Leaders, we keep our left hand up, and I always make sure that my wrist is above head level.
Followers, we keep our right hand up, and we also make sure that our shoulders are not disconnected from our bodies.
Yeah, so you're not moving that out of your frame, so to speak. With this, we are going to do something we call a lilt. So leaders, we're going to start crunching a little bit on our right leg.
Followers on the left.
And then we can scoop going 1, 2. So if we move a little bit further apart, we've got, this is, for instance, a 6 or the 8 in the music. And then we've got 1, 2. So you scoop up. Please do this in a less robotic fashion, yeah, so it's not that staccato, it's not bump, bump, but it really goes a bit more in a flow, so you can really use that arm as well to just scoop up, yeah, so if we do this, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you also don't do it in every basic, because this for us is kind of a reset.
Followers, the lilt is not something that we initiate, the leaders initiate that, but we follow that, of course, when the leader does that. So that's why we're also practicing it as followers.
Yeah, so in the next song, so again there's a song in the description, we are going to practice this, so just add it to your footwork and just do it every once in a while on the 6, 1, 2. Make sure that you always keep this hand up, and I'm sorry, but it's going to be a little bit painful in the beginning. Definitely when you're practicing, make sure that your footwork is correct. Don't focus too much on keeping this hand up all the time, so sometimes just relax it a little bit and then move it up again. But it's always the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, ba-da, and then just do a little bit more basic. 6, 1, 2. Always make sure that you go for that scoop if you wanted to. Alright, so once we've practiced this, it's time for us to partner up. If you don't have a partner at home, then you can skip this a little bit, but if you do, that's great. We're going to build it up like this. Leaders, we're going to hold our partners on the back like so, like you might be used to from a he goes. And then we have our left hand up, which the followers can hold. If you have a height difference, as we have right now, then I always make sure that my wrist is just above the follower's head, and if I'm shorter, then it's going to be above my head.
So followers, if the leader connects with their right hand to your back, you can just rest your left arm on the arm of the lead. Make sure you don't squeeze the lead with your hand, it's really about the arm connection, and you can just leave your arm wherever it feels comfortable. The other connection, make sure that there's a light connection, you don't squeeze the hand of the leader here as well. It's a 50-50 effort of keeping the hands up, so I'm not dragging the hand of the lead down.
Same for me, not moving that down.
Also try to keep it in the middle of, like between you and your partner.
Yeah. Leaders, that's also for you. We're not keeping the hand here, we're also definitely not keeping the hand here, because that's actually for the followers. This is a prep into, I would say, into a turn. Yeah, so we keep it nice, comfortable in the middle. Alright, last step is that we are a little bit staggered. Yeah, so our right feet are in between our partner's feet, like that. Yeah, so if you are exactly face to face, you just shuffle a little bit to the left. Both feet. And then from there, we can also do that crunch. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm taking my entire frame down a little bit, thereby taking my follower along, and then go into that lilt. Yeah, so if we do a few basics like that, I'm just going to restart after a few basics. Yeah, so 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 5. And 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
So if you have a partner, this is a good time to practice this basic a bit with your partner. So use one of the songs we used for the other 2 practice sessions, and just try this around in your living room. And again, try to move a little bit forward, backward, and circular.
Alright, so now it's time to add some footwork variations. The first one that we're going to be doing is the kick hook variation. It looks like this. A kick, hook, boom, ba-da. Kick, hook, boom, bam. The way we do this is as we land on that first foot, we can extend the other foot. Yeah? So I'm landing on my left foot, extending my right foot, thereby kicking. All I'm doing is kicking my heel down. So I'm not really kicking. There's not that much stress on my knees. It's just extending the leg. That's one. And we hop again and hook the foot behind our leg, like so. And then we switch feet. Yeah, so again, if we do this really slowly, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, bam. Notice that there is definitely a hop on every beat. Yeah, so even if you're doing kick hook, we're not doing kick hook, but we're really doing that. Also make sure that always your weight is on the front of the foot, so on the ball of the foot. Let's show it from the back as well. So we've got this, a 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick, hook, run, run. Kick, hook, run, run. Slow, slow, quick. Kick, hook, run.
So the second footwork variation that we're going to do is the hook kick basic, and it looks like this. Hook kick, hook kick, hook kick, hook kick. The hook kick basic is the reverse of the kick hook basic. So you start with hooking your leg behind your, to the back, and then releasing the leg to have that kick. So it's again not really a kick, but it's more of a release of the leg. So we'll show it from the back as well. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hook, kick, hook, kick, kick, hook, kick.
Variation number 3 will be the double kick basic. Now, as we said, kicking is not really kicking, but you're just releasing and stretching that leg as you land on that foot. So what we're going to be doing is, as we jump up, we're also going to lift our knee up so that we can release it twice in the same way, like that. Yeah, so doing this a little bit slower. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Show it from the back. First slow, and then we'll do it a little bit faster, just so you can see both ways. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little bit faster. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So the next footwork variation that we're going to do is the heel toe basic. It looks like this. So in the heel toe basic, we have a similar feeling as the kick hook basic, but instead we give it an extra accent with our heels and with our toes. So we make a kind of tap. There are 2 ways in which you can do this basic. First, you can really emphasize the heel and the toe, and then you get something like what we just did. So looks like this. So here you can really hear the heel and the toe as a tap on the floor. The second way in which you can do this is more like a drag. So you kind of drag your heel to the toe and also on the other side. And then it looks like this. So that's a bit more relaxed. Okay, now we're going to show it from the back as well. The first 4 basics are going to be the one with the emphasis on the heel and the toe. And the second 4 basics that we're going to do are the more draggy heel toe basics. So, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Basic for you, and that's the toe heel basic. So just as we did before with the heel toe, we're now going to be doing toe heel. Again, you can emphasize this going toe heel, bum, bum, toe heel, bum, bum. Or you can drag it a little bit more. It looks like this. Boom, shak, boom, shak, bum, bum, boom, shak, boom, shak, bum, bum. With this last basic, I always find it's easier to keep your feet much closer, because you need to be on that toe quite quickly, yeah? But I think it's easiest to see this from the back. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is with the emphasis. Boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. And this is relaxed.